some meetings coming up. I scheduled a recurring 5th grade meeting with Chegwin that I can click into, and we can keep all of our notes ongoing in here. Okay.
A question,
Trace, would you show about how to take notes in there? Because in my experience, there have been so few characters that I can add, and so I must be doing something wrong.
Okay. So here's my attendees. I tried to grab a few Chegwin folks, including our special ed teacher at Chegwin. I forgot to bring Pam Yanagahashi on. I can put our topic for the agenda, and now for notes, I can do that right here, or I can even add it here. And I have up to 500 characters per note, okay, Jody's saying not enough.
Yeah, I said that's not much.
Okay.
Can you add several notes?
Be more, yeah, maybe.
You can.
Would that be a workaround?
Like bullet points almost?
Yeah, you can add more.
Okay. All right. I thought maybe I was doing something wrong.
No. And then you can also set it to private if you want. So that it's private. So that's where you can do that. And then also with your action items, you can create action items. So if you said, like, if Jody, you were having a meeting with your 3rd grade team and you wanted Amy Yan to look at something, you could add that action item here and say, check, you could add her, give her that assignment. You can give her a to-do date so that you can, rather than sending an email like, hey, Amy, the next time she goes in, she would see that. She would also get the email alerting her that she has a task, but it would also be attached here. And then you don't have to email her and say, hey, Amy, did you get to that? You can see on here that she is taking care of that. And then you can have as much information as you want on there.
Hey, Trace, did they link up the meetings on here with our Google calendars, or do we have 2 calendars?
I believe I got that figured out. Okay. I'm not sure yet, so I haven't had anyone tell me that it worked yet. So I don't know.
So the question is for IEP people, when they're inviting lots of people, they can do it here and then correct, and it should go to our other calendar.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
So what's the advantage of using this to schedule meetings versus putting it on your Google Meet calendar and sending it out? So it goes right to their calendar.
Yep. So let's go ahead and look at if I were to create a meeting, if it were you can have it recurring. I'm just going to come up with I just say we're just going to schedule it through December. You schedule that, it's at 12, we'll do PM. Okay. And then and you could then also attach, like, let's say you wanted to talk about a specific student. I have a student named Robert Rhodes that I created as a fake kid. I can attach that student to our meeting. So if you were coming together for a student concerns team, you would be able to add that student to that meeting. That would be one advantage. Andrea, do you have...
indicating that student is invited to the meeting? Or
no,
that's
indicating
we're
going to be looking at what that student needs from us as a team. And you could change that every week, or you could also be able to pull, you're also able to pull like trends and data. So if you had all of your kindergarten reading readiness screeners and you said, like, Chris, you said, hey, my kindergarten team is coming, I want everyone to be able to look at this information together. The information we're looking at is right there. You, Chris, don't have to go and get it all ready for everybody and make it all pretty and take screenshots of it and then have it in a separate document. You can have them working in it right here. So that would be an advantage. I don't know, Andrea, are there things that you used as with your teams for meetings?
Actually, this new format did not exist. This is with the new version. It was a little bit. I mean, they had a version of it, but it wasn't quite like this.
So this would be that would be an advantage of using the meeting.
So Teresa, I have a question for you. So let's say we're talking about a specific grade level or a class with a teacher and we want to go through this grade. But like I ran into a problem. I was trying to pull data for one of my teams and I was pulled the data wall, but I can't copy or print just the data wall. I had to like go and manually move everything over to a spreadsheet. Is there an easier way to do that?
Helen Wigand actually asked a question about pulling the Fontes and Pinnell BAS for different grade levels, and we tried to do it in the new platform, and it's not quite ready yet. So we actually had to go to the old platform.
Oh.
So I'm going to show you how to do that, Robin. If you go to your upper right, or Helen, do you want to show?
No, I don't need to show, but it did work very easily. I actually have it right next to me because I'm in the process of passing it out to teachers. And I was able to also put in the same screen their literacy, beginning of year iReady, and end of, Christmas, whatever, December iReady score, all on one piece of paper, which was awesome.
That's like I had to create a spreadsheet and pull every single one.
Right. So you can, if you go on the old version, because I will just say this from what Teresa was saying, this is super user friendly because all I did was play with it for 5 minutes and I realized I could do this and I was trying to print it and then that became the stumbling block. So Teresa and I have met twice just to figure it out and she's been super helpful to, help me make it work, and it did work really nicely. And I didn't have to handwrite it all because that's what I was going to do, Robin, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so much work. And so yeah, Therese figured it out, and that's what we ended up having to do is go into the old version to print, but it did work really nice. If I can hold on just a second, I'll show what it looks like. So this is what it ended up looking like. So there's a child, then their BAS score, and then their iReady reading beginning and middle of the year. Yep. So it was very easy, and then I'm in the process of giving these to teachers with their BAS folders from last year. Hopefully end of the day goal. All done.
Okay. Yep. And so if you saw my screen, you just go through there and you can click on the screen over on the left-hand side. I'm going to click on data wall because then you get that neat data wall. And it doesn't convert the letters to numbers that don't match when you do it this way.
So where do you print from here?
Over on the left-hand side.
Yeah, on the left. And then you can
With
also
the
just
data
do
wall.
P and it will work.
Yeah, I always had to export it, so that's how we had to do it in the old one.
Yeah, and things are moving pretty quickly with their revision. Like they're working hard to get everything on in the new platform. And anytime a glitch has been found, when I'm working with our EduClimber lady, by the next time I talk with her, it's been fixed. So, except for this Fontes and Pinnell thing, that's the only thing that hasn't been fixed. So, yay! But yeah, you should be able to print it from there. So.
You show again where the print button was.
Okay, so so here.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So that's like the only reason, or for most of you, like that'll be the only time you'll want to go into the old view. Everything else you're gonna want to be in the new view. And every time you switch between platforms or refresh, you get that reminder again, which is nice.
Ellen, did you say you were able to print more than one assessment on the same data wall? Therese, could you show us that where we could pull up multiple assessments, or do you?
Yes, you can. And now I realize really would have been helpful to teachers, even though I'm not really a math person, to just put their math I ready on here too. I should have. And now they'll probably ask me, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm going to teach myself again how to do this. And Teresa's smiling. But the more times I do it, I know the better I'll get. But yeah, so that's what this is the I ready scores for the beginning of the year and the winter. And then that's their BAS. I don't know why, but when I printed it in color, it didn't print out in color for me. I'm not really sure. That might have been our printer issues because I tried to print it in color since I was making so few copies. So.
All right. So again, I'd go into the classic view. And Helen, you've probably had more experience with this now than I have. So Helen, do you just go into my class or my grade?
You have so many more things available to you. That's confusing to me. Like I only had like one. I think I went into grades and then I had to go back to 19 and 20, of course. Mm-hmm. That's how I did it.
And I'm gonna pull up. I'll pull up Chegwin.
Yeah, and then I went the grade I wanted, and then I actually category I went to literacy, and then IDIS. That's where you can click more than one assessment. So if you wanted to do, maybe you can do all of them. You could get the math nested next to that I ready score for reading for literacy.
So you have that there, and then
and I did do PALS and the other things for the kindergarten, and I even did the 4K screener that they used. I could pull that up, so I gave that to kindergarten for the 4Kers from last year. Because I'm like, it's something. I mean, for letter ID and things like that they might want to know what the child knew before. I thought it was worthwhile to give them what I could get.
Okay, and again, we click on that left-hand side data wall. And then within the data wall, we can click print, or we could do, we can export too. And if you export it into a CSV, don't open it, just simply upload it into your Google Docs or your Google spreadsheet, and then it'll convert it to a Google spreadsheet for you, and then you can manipulate it. So.
Soon, Therese, you're going to be working on for EduClimber on the side.
I don't know if I have enough time. Honestly, it's. I mean, it has been really user friendly. Like even just the questions I've been asking Carrie Schumacher about, just because I don't know phonological awareness, initial sound benchmarks, and so it's been really awesome to see how accessible it is to create those thresholds and those benchmarks for that, and what the data is going to look like coming out. We are going to still be playing, like, because when I looked at the kindergarten benchmark for the reading readiness, we are going to have data from previous years, and that was broken down by month, and now we're structuring it that it's broken down beginning of year, mid-year, end of year. So we are going to have some, like, kind of funky looking data if we're comparing over a couple years, but if we're just looking at this year, our data is going to be pretty tight. And clean. That's my new word with data, is it's clean.
Nice. I like that.
So, so there's a lot that I'm learning, and if you have a question that you want help with, or if you're looking at it and you're saying, I'm not quite comfortable yet, let me know. I'm happy to try to help you, because we learn by doing and we learn by collaborating.
Any other questions for Therese?
To cool kids too. I got asked about the cool kids too.
Thank you so much, Therese. This was very helpful.
To play on Monday.
That was awesome.
18 at Thornbury.
Thanks.
And Green Bay,
Bye.
and 18 at Freedom of
Bye. We may ask you to come back.
Yeah, we will.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we wanted to go back to one question I think Nicole had asked earlier about the units of study and access for ELL and special ed teachers. Any ELL teacher or any special ed teacher can have access to view the units of study at any grade level by using anyone's Heinemann login and password to access whatever grade level. So you would maybe suggest to them to